Hello, Starla. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for interviewing me today.
And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interview you. So, friends, we have Starla here. Let me brief about her. Starla is not your typical manifestation coach, though the topic is about manifestation today. After surviving cancer, which is not a joke, Stella, surviving cancer and a spiritual awakening, she decided to dedicate herself to self development, utilizing manifestation and mindset hacks. So we'll find out few of the hacks what she uses. And after a deep meditation session one evening, she realized that she could also help others. So now you decided to share your gifts as well, Starla. That's amazing. And that
Absolutely.
is when her coaching business, Guiding Star, was born. I love that name, Guiding Star.
Thank you so much.
Starla centers her coaching style around teaching clients the art of self compassion, gratitude work, and finding true inner happiness. She has a podcast and a successful blog called Spiritual and the City on her website. So, friends, all the other details to reaching out Starla will be made available in the YouTube description as well. So, let us go back to Starla. Okay, Starla. Tell me about what motivated. Like, yes, I understood that after deep meditation, you realized that you wanted to help others,
hmm
and still, even after that, like, was there any conflict? Hey, who would listen, or let me share my gifts about manifestation and all that?
Not really. It was amazing. I mean, that's how I kind of knew that this was my soul calling.
Okay.
I've previously been a model. I worked at an oddity shop for many years as well, and I've always loved what I do when I'm doing it, but this was just my passion. Everything about it just lights me up. So step after step after step, it just felt natural and normal. And I've just kept going with it basically.
Okay. Awesome. Starla, since you said you were a model, you are still, or you were a model
No, I previously was
previously?
for many years, from about the age of 18.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there will be a lot of people who wants to be a star model, or an actor, and somewhere there is this desire, and they will be feeling like, I don't like myself. Maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I don't. I'm not good enough. There are so many people who are talented and all that. So, being a manifestation coach, as well as once you were model, so could you please, combining these two aspects, could you please give some advice about such people who want to make a career out of modeling or acting?
Oh, absolutely. So when I was a model, I had no self-compassion, really.
Okay.
I had hardly any confidence. I
Mhm.
had walls, and they kept me protected. And people would say to me, "You're an attractive person, you're great at modeling," and things like that. And so I would go, "Okay, so I'll be a model. That's where I fit in this world." Um, the only total enjoyment I got out of modeling was being a blank canvas, being an artist, because I'm also an artist, and I loved being able to just totally retransform myself every single time I did a photo shoot. But back then, yeah, I had very little confidence.
Okay.
And so it is absolutely paramount that whether you want to be a model or an actor, anything, is to find self-confidence.
Okay. Okay.
It is so important, but self-confidence, not from the place where we usually understand where self-confidence comes from. um, when I got into self-compassion work, that is where I found true self-confidence.
That
So
was my next
self-compassion,
question, and thank you for bringing the
yeah, sorry.
self-compassion. No, no, no. You read my mind, and thank you for opening, starting about self-compassion, because okay, Starla said to be confident. So, Okay, let me be confident. How is that possible? So that's where you brought the
Yeah.
self-compassion. Please tell more about it.
Exactly. And I had no idea what self-compassion really meant,
Uh,
throughout most of my life. It's like, well, be kind to yourself. Okay, but how do you be kind to
how?
yourself? I know
Yes.
how to be kind to others, but how do I use that on myself? And there's a number of different things that you can start doing. And one of the most amazing things you can do is start flipping your thoughts.
Mhm.
So you just it seems like it's such an easy process, but maybe sometimes overcomplicated. Within the same momentum of having a thought,
Mhm.
you will just simply say something like, well, I don't feel like that anymore, or actually I choose this version of myself. And the more you do it, the more of the repetition, it becomes natural to you to be able to feel that way and to talk to yourself in that way.
Okay. So again, I'm gonna ask you the most frequently asked question, like, what did I do great so much there? I need to feel good about myself, or I didn't achieve so much like others. So what is there to feel great about? So how can I feel self-compassionate? So
It is using a bunch of tools to just make yourself feel completely content within.
okay.
And when you do that, you just start to view the world in a different way. You really do start to stop and smell the roses, essentially. You find enjoyment in the smallest things. And I think that is really living life at the end of the day. It's about embracing everything that you already have and being really happy where you are, but still going towards those goals, still dreaming big and manifesting and making it happen. And you get there quicker when you're already happy with who you are and what you have now. And that's just the foundation, really.
Wonderful. I like the word foundation because, also, thank you for the advice, Starla, that what you said is be self-compassionate with yourself, be grateful to where you are, and also work towards the goals
Yes.
in parallel. Yeah.
Yes.
If a person starts judging or comparing with the achievements of others and
Mhm.
achievements of self, definitely the self-compassion won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of things you can do. One of the things I love to do is scripting and journaling. Scripting more for manifestation, but journaling just as an everyday practice. And it really helped me with self-compassion. So sometimes you don't have somebody you can talk to. Sometimes, the people you do have in your life wouldn't necessarily understand what you are going through because they maybe haven't gone through the same thing. So you can basically get a journal like you would as when you were a child and you had a diary, but you do it in a slightly different way. So you would write out how you were feeling, but then you would kind of almost talk to your internal therapist. you know so I felt like this today and it didn't feel so good. Well, why was I feeling that way, and how did I express myself, and how would I express myself differently? And how did that person, feel when I said what I said to them? And just basically questioning yourself. And when you do that, your inner guide, your internal knowing system will always give you an answer. And you start to become a best friend to yourself by doing a practice like that.
Amazing. I like this words, internal therapist, internal, internal guiding system.
Yeah,
And
because we all have one. And so many people throughout their lives, I mean, as I did, look for external validation. They're constantly looking for an answer to make them feel like what they want to do is the right thing to do. And the more you look for people to praise you outside of yourself or look for answers outside of yourself, you're just going to keep being in that vicious cycle of never really trusting yourself and knowing yourself. And I just think that's such a shame. Now I understand myself how to do it, and I can teach others how to do it. I just want the whole world to feel that way.
Amazing. And since you started teaching others as well, I mean, I want to use the word, instead of teaching, I want to use the word sharing your gifts.
Yes.
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 So when you talk about manifestation, there are so many misconceptions about this word itself triggers. Hey, be practical. Don't go into that manifestation part. Where like, and they say like, just close your eyes and open and everything boom happens. So it doesn't happen. People get frustrated and all that. So what is your definition of manifestation, and what exactly do you do as a manifestation coach, Starla?
So my definition of manifestation is believing in yourself so much that whatever you want to happen in your life is going to happen, or something better is going to happen. It is a belief system. So almost, whereas if you're religious, you're kind of looking for that outside help to come in. And with manifestation, it's more about going in to present whatever is going to come from within, without. So I will always ground myself first when I'm manifesting. And honestly, it's about keeping it simple. Actually, it's about keeping it really simple. Whatever works for you works for you. So if that is the 555 writing process, is that scripting, visualizing, or all of the above, then that's your process. And I think that manifestation is a very individual process. I personally, love to visualize, because I have a really, really great mind when it comes to visualization. I can do it really, really easily. I can also use my other senses. So when I visualize, I can feel touch very, very easily. Well, smell isn't as strong as touch for me, but for somebody else it would be. And so you utilize whatever you can to get you into that place of just feeling like it's yours.
Wonderful.
It's done. You feel good about it. That is absolutely paramount. So you've got to feel really good about it, and I think any other manifestation coach, will say exactly the same thing. It's not what true manifestation coach will say, that wanting to have that thing is literally really nothing to do with it. It's all about the feeling that you're feeling about having it.
Wonderful. Okay. So there's a relationship coach, there is a sports coach, there is executive coach. What exactly do you do when a person comes to you? Could be like, let's say, relationship. Someone is having a pattern of breakups,
Sure.
and like, okay, all men are not trustworthy, or all women are not trustworthy, because each time I approach them, there is this incident and they attract wrong people. So now, let's say this person has come to you and you're a manifestation coach. How do you help people?
I help people to, it may sound a little bit brutal, but I help them to realize that they are the problem. Essentially.
So you start speaking the truth.
Because, it may be too strong for some people, but I personally believe that I manifested my own cancer, because I was so stuck for so long in a very depressed, sad, victimized place in my life. And, this is my story. It doesn't have to be everyone's, especially when it comes to an illness like cancer. But for me, it was definitely the case. And I think that when somebody comes to me and they say, oh, all men are this and all men are that, and all relationships, never work out. And I just kind of say to them, so that's what you believe then? And they'll say, yeah. I was like, okay, well, that's your problem. That's where the problem lies, not your problem specifically, but that is the problem as to why you're not getting to where you want to get to in a relationship.
Okay. And from there you help people, like, okay, you made someone realize, and the, like, what is happening is, Starla, the moment this word manifestation is used, there is like, okay, this is something magic or something this, something that. So that's why I'm emphasizing, yes, manifestation coaches are there. They'll help you to manifest what would be it, a relationship or job or improving relationships, other things.
Absolutely.
Why is it important to have a manifestation coach?
I don't think it is important, actually, and I know I might be shooting myself in the foot here, but I think that it's only important if you've tried everything you can try and you still haven't got where you want to be.
Okay.
It's so important for people to understand that all I do is I help them find the power within themselves. I guide them to find that power to be able to transform their own lives. Because I'm not a tarot card reader, I'm not a fortune teller, but what I can definitely see is a pattern that somebody else might not be able to see.
Okay.
And so when I can see that pattern, then I can implement, my own tools, tricks of the trade, and by
Mindset hacks.
mindset hacks,
Yes.
and by doing that, then people start to realize how easy and how simple the manifestation process is.
Okay.
Because we've all been manifesting since the moment we could, put that feeling of wanting something and matching that alignment with the universe. We've all been doing it since we were little anyway. So, I remember the first time I manifested something. Well, it's probably not the first time, but I remember it was when I was about 4 years old, and I was in America, and we just moved to the States. And I remember standing in this restaurant, and I looked at this little baby cradle, and I thought that my dolly would really love that cradle, and I imagined her in the cradle. I saw her in it and everything, and then it was about 10 minutes later that the lady behind the bar came out and in a beautiful Southern accent asked me if I wanted it. And that stuck with me.
Beautiful. And you know what, Stella, I was about to ask some question. This is the second time you already answered. The reason I'll tell you. When I asked you why does a person need a manifestation coach, they can read books as well. So you beautifully answered one more thing. Of course, there's nothing wrong. There are amazing books, wonderful authors, no doubt. Books are excellent. Even I love the books. You said a person is not able to see the patterns which you as a coach are able to see, help a person to break that and achieve. That's where the importance of coach comes
It
to
is
see.
any type of coach, even if you've tried exercise yourself and you're doing home exercise and you can't quite get those results, maybe it's time for a personal trainer.
Yes.
And so I'm like a spiritual personal trainer, essentially. I'm just going to say, okay, let's just take everything out of the equation. Let's make it very, very simple. But your case is unique to you, because until you're able to apply the mindset hacks, you're not going to see the changes. So you can read the books and you can watch the documentaries, and you can do everything like that, but until you actually put it into practice, you're not going to see the results. And I think when you have a coach, you've got somebody who's like this amazing cheerleader, that's going to help you keep on track with where you want to be going. And I haven't had one client that I've worked with that hasn't seen results very, very quickly, because they've gone from you know, reading the books and doing all the work and everything and scripting and going, but why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? And then I go, well, if you do this, and this, and then, you know, it all falls into place.
Exactly, because in the information age, obviously all the information is available. It's not
It is.
only
Yeah.
about holding the information, or it's not about the technique. It's about the understanding, awareness, and implementing the right things in the right time. So
Yeah, I put it into practice the other day, you know, even as a manifestation coach, I've lived my life another way for more years than I've lived my life this way. So I'm still going to fall off the wagon as such. And I lost a really expensive headphone.
okay.
And I was not, you know, I was not happy inside of myself. I thought, oh my goodness, I really don't want to lose this headphone. Long story short, basically after doing very short walks back and forth for 20 minutes, I decided no matter what, that headphone was coming back to me. I imagined feeling it in my hand, the texture of it. I started saying, thank you so much that I've got this headphone back. And then I started thinking about the reasons why I'm so grateful to have that headphone back, because my music allows me to escape and to enjoy and to dance. You know, all the reasons I could think of. And as I got closer to my home, this headphone turned up in a place that I hadn't been. You know, and and even I, as somebody who believes in, you know, every law there is, the 12 laws and everything, I was still shook because it was that moment of, yes, because that's what this is all about, you know, those happy surprises when you just believe in the process.
Okay. Why is so much emphasis given on the gratitude work, Starla? Not only you, any manifestation coach or any law of attraction teacher gives importance to gratitude. Why?
Yeah. All I can say, just the story I just said to you, you know, the moment I started to reel off all the ways that I was grateful, along with the absolute belief that it was going to come back to me, the magic started to happen.
Okay.
You know,
Tell me more. Tell me more.
it's, you know, at the end of the day, I think gratitude is just such a powerful emotion. It's such a powerful feeling. And I think it's, you know, personally, it's what we're all born to feel and to realize every single day of our lives. You know, it
That was
makes
very deep
everything,
statement.
it makes everything easy. It makes everything loving. It makes everything fantastic. So, you know, you really want something that you don't have, but then you feel, you know, so if you want a house, you know, but you don't have that house, well, then you feel grateful for what you do have now. And that's not going to stop you from getting that thing. That's going to get you there even quicker.
Yes.
Because you're just grateful. You're grateful for breathing every day. You know, when I wake up in the morning, I do say, I'm so grateful I woke up today. I'm so grateful I get to live today. I get to enjoy today. And just using a few affirmations like that in the morning can make all the difference.
Amazing. Thank you about telling that. Like, gratitude is a powerful emotion. And this reminds me of a small incident in my lifestyle. I was hating some job. I was like, I want to get out of this job. I don't like these people and all that. I was still there. And one day I remember I telling that, okay, let me be very grateful for this job because I have this job and I'm grateful to this.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, I was fired. And then what? I started feeling grateful and I was fired. Then coincident, what the series of incidents happened, I ended up with a beautiful job. So that's the power of gratitude. Like,
It
a
is.
heart filled with negative emotions will not allow the manifestation easier. So I like the statement that you said. It's a powerful emotion and it is one of the reasons we are born to experience. That was a
Absolutely.
amazing statement.
Absolutely. And you know, and also again, gratitude is coming from within. You're grateful for everything from within. So when people talk about asking the universe for something, for example, I find this is an interesting area because when you're asking the universe, essentially, you're not asking God, you're not praying, you are opening up that, you're opening up that pathway to be energetically aligned with the thing that you want, so that pathway can bring you what you want. So by being grateful, you're then opening up to receiving.
Beautiful. So it is
And whenever I
almost
think
like dissolving the blockages.
removing the blockages, 100%, and I would say that the number one, and I know you're going to love this, the number one thing to use when removing blockages is EFT.
And we were telling something about gratitude whenever I think, and I sorry, I interrupted you about gratitude part.
Sorry, say that again.
You were telling something about gratitude, like whenever I think about gratitude, and I just shared something else.
Yeah, no, just whenever gratitude is just everything to bring everything to you, but it just makes you feel really, really amazing at the same time. So it's like it also has the power to change circumstances, like you said about your job, but not just so like getting fired from a job. If you start being grateful to that boss who you really find annoying, that boss is going to start to change in front of your eyes.
Yes.
You know, if you start being grateful for your partner instead of, saying things to your girlfriends about them and how terrible they are and they never do anything for you and everything. Well, step up, because you're part of the relationship too. Step up and start being grateful for that person. And it's about looking for the positives versus the negatives. And I don't think social media really helps these days with that. I talk about this all the time, and I'm going to be talking about it more on my social media channels because which is funny, but I think it's with great power comes great responsibility. Social media can be amazing, but at the same time, you're reading things and you're seeing things. And so when it comes to relationships, when I have a client that comes to me and they're having troubles with relationships, I find always that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are giving them these, subconscious beliefs, extra subconscious beliefs, to say, but I do believe in relationships. And then you've got, memes saying, yeah, but look out for the red flags. And then people literally will start looking for those red flags and then, fall into that fear place. And it's so unfortunate, but the more people can just be grateful and happy with what they have and look for the positives in life over the negatives, their life will start to transform.
Beautiful. Thank you for making people aware that how the information that we receive, what I call it as mental diet, what we receive impacts us. And Starla, one more very interesting question I received by a person who was practicing gratitude religiously.
Okay.
And she came up with very unique question. Okay, she said that, Nizam, I have been practicing gratitude from the past 1 month, but I realized how boring person I am. I have the same thing. I'm grateful to the house I live, to the water, this. And when this is after some point, I started feeling that how boring person I am. I'm writing every day. There's nothing new. So what should I be grateful for? And then she created a new story, new belief out of it that I'm a boring person. So I stopped writing how boring my life is. So your advice.
Yeah, my advice would be you're not a boring person at all. What you've recognized is that whatever you're writing about is not sparking you up. It's not, it's not making you feel really good. And so since manifestation especially became really, really big at the beginning of the pandemic, for example, I've been practicing it years before that. And anyone else that has, I think we were all kind of a little bit shocked at some of the things that were coming out, like this is how you get this and this is how you get that. And one of the things was people saying, well, it's all about the gratitude writing, and almost like just write down words and things will just happen and they will come true. Well, if you believe they will, sure, that's absolutely true. And if you are writing, you're doing gratitude writing and you believe those things and they make you feel so amazing, then sure. But if you're just writing things down, you may as well just be writing your shopping list. It's not about the words you're writing, and it's not about the magic ink and the magic pen. It's about everything in here. And so something that I teach people is when you're doing gratitude, when you're doing affirmations, whatever you do, always, always, always really step into that emotion. So if I said I am so grateful for the air in my lungs, I wouldn't just be like, I'm so grateful for the air of my lungs. I would be like, I am so grateful for the air in my lungs. And I would just take a few seconds to just really feel how that feels to breathe. I am so grateful for all the money I have in my life. Well, I'm really going to step into, I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for all that money in my life. And then my mind's going to be like, why are you so grateful? God, I'm so grateful because I have a roof over my head. I get to buy organic food. I get to, run my car. I get to travel to see my friends and my family. I could jump on a plane if I wanted to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am so grateful. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss with gratitude writing, is they're just not stepping into it.
Okay, so this, if I have to share something, this is the biggest takeaway. Do not write your gratitude like a shopping list. Feel it and write it by stepping into the emotion.
Wow. Yes. Wow. Yes, absolutely. It's all about emotion. It's all about emotion.
Yes. Wow. Like when you said I'm grateful for the air in my lungs, and just writing like a shopping list, it's two different dimensions altogether. One is feeling it, one is just writing it. And you also thank you for clarifying, it's not in the pen, it's not in the book, it's not in the words, it's in the feeling.
Absolutely. It can be in the pen and in the magic ink if you believe that, though. It's whatever you believe. One of the huge bandwagon things that I see a lot of is about manifesting your ex. And that is all over the internet at the moment. And all you have to do is to say, that person loves me. That person feels so amazing about me, right? And you really, really step into that version. And it's like, okay, but you're stepping over a mark here, because it's about free will, but it's also about people are just writing things down. They're writing, putting it under their pillow, sticking crystals under there. My ex is coming back. My ex is coming back. I'm going to get the job. I'm going to do this. But they don't seem to be able to connect to why they're doing that.
Awareness.
It's like, why do you want the house? Why do you want your ex? If you had a terrible relationship with someone, why on earth are you trying to bring that back into your life? And that is the majority of people that are trying to manifest their exes back, and it really is a vogue thing at the moment that everybody is talking about. And it's like, or you could take a step back, know that you're probably not likely in a place to be in a relationship right now. It would be great if you did all the mindset work on yourself, started to love yourself and really enjoy your own company and everything. And then you can then question, do I want to be writing over and over, my ex is coming back, my ex is coming back, my ex is coming back, or do you want to just get on with your life and enjoy it? And if that person is going to come back into your life, they're going to, and things like that. And it's not just about, an ex, it's also about, it's just about anything. Why do you want it?
Yes.
That's important as well. When you step into that emotion of gratitude, you can also start to think, well, yeah, but why do I want this? Why do I want to win the lottery? Because I want to be able to buy a house and I want to be able to go on holiday. Yes, but why? And if you keep asking yourself, why, you're going to get to the actual answer. And sometimes it's because you don't feel worthy. Sometimes it's because you always felt like having money would somehow make people like you more, So it's so important to know that you have the power to get past all of that, and then to win the lottery, and then to be a happy person who's won a lot of money.
That's amazing, because yes, it is so important, Starla. Such a beautiful point you have. It's a valid point that now I want a car. Why? Because Starla has it. I want a house just because I want an iPhone because someone else has it. Right? I want to show. I want to prove myself. I want to this. I want to that. Then we go deeper. The self-worth. Yeah. Even when their manifestation is, when their wish is fulfilled, something is missing inside. Something is missing. Let me manifest more. I want more. I want more. So that advice was excellent about the self-worth.
Thank you. Yeah, because if you can find self-worth, then you can live a happy life. So it doesn't matter what comes into your life, you can deal with it. And it's something all my friends will always say to me, is I'm always looking for the silver linings. And that's something I started to really concentrate on when I found out that I had previously had cancer, because I had to then embark on chemotherapy. And especially the first stage of chemotherapy was quite difficult. And so I had to almost remind myself that there were things that I could find that were positive in this very challenging situation. So I started enjoying my hospital visits. I started being grateful for the nurses that would always make me smile, and have my best interests at heart. I started being grateful for the chemotherapy. Whereas previously I watched the Truth About Cancer, which is like a 10-hour documentary a couple of years before. And so I was completely convinced that if I ever got cancer, not knowing at the time I actually had it, which is kind of amusing, that I would never do chemotherapy. But when I was told that it was probably a good idea, I knew, I went inwards, and I knew that the answer was, you'll be absolutely fine if you do it. So just go for it and it'll be fine. So then I wasn't going to choose to do chemo and then see that my body was being filled with something I didn't want it to be filled with every day. I chose to envision that my body was being filled with this life-saving drug, this life-saving magical liquid that didn't make me feel so good, but but it was doing its job, and it was temporary as well. Always reminding myself it was temporary, it was cool, and I would get through it. And I did. Well, and initially, well, before I started the chemo, the whole way this all started was I had stomach pains, and those stomach pains then alerted my doctor to kind of push it further. Decided I probably had Crohn's or colitis, and I needed to go in for tests. And the day I went in for tests, that evening, I was told I had basically 24 hours left to live.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So again, that was, a moment of, I'm going to be okay.
How
And
many years ago?
I
How many years ago that?
it was in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2019. I actually found out on the 4th of July that it was a diagnosis of cancer. But I'd had my operation, and then I'd been in hospital for a week and a half. But yeah, the doctor said, the surgeon said to me, we need to get you in now. We need to prep you right now, because you might not be here tomorrow if we don't. And that was a scary and frightening and challenging moment. But again, I went inwards and I said to myself, am I going to be okay? And the answer was yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I just went in as calm and collected as I possibly could. And then when they said you have to start chemo, it's the same thing. But I started reading a book when it was about a week or 2 weeks after I got told I should probably start chemo. It's called Self-Compassion by an author called Kristen Neff. And I would tell everybody to buy that book, because it is literally the stepping stone of all of this stuff, and now I am in every single day of my life, I work in self-development. I make sure that I flip my thoughts, that I find the silver linings, that I stop and smell the roses. And it's not a chore. People start to go, oh, that's a lot of hard work. How can you do that? Oh yeah, but you went through all this, and you went through a difficult time, and you're brave and you're strong. And it's like, no, I'm no different.
Yes.
Everybody has the power, no matter what they're going through. You don't have to go through cancer, to make a choice that you're going to change your life today, and you're going to change it for the better because you're sick and tired of being sad or miserable or frustrated or fed up.
Amazing. And this is where I have observed, even I advise my students and clients, do not curse, like especially say doctors are doing great job, do not have aversion towards the medical field, like cursing and hating. So you become more of what you think you are, like that's like hatred. And certain teachers also fill their students with the same thoughts. And your experience that you started being grateful to the nurses, to the medicine, and how you changed your set of mind towards the medicine that you are taking. Wow, that is like, yeah,
It's really
why
important.
curse, why hate something or someone?
It's because it's in us. So the negativity bias will constantly try to keep us safe. But it's like an overprotective mother almost, really, really wrapping you in cotton wool. And so when people read things on the internet and so forth, and they start to form an opinion, they'll then look for more of that. If you've been in some terrible relationships and you're in a really good relationship with somebody, your negativity bias is probably going to kick in around the 2-3 month mark, and you're going to start thinking, well, hang on, this is a bit too good to be true, actually. It never works out. It's never worked out to this point. I have no evidence that it's going to work out, and everything on social media tells me it's not going to work out, so therefore it's not going to work out. And it can be anything, like if you've woken up and you feel like you've had a bad day, you'll often find that then the person at the supermarket is rude to you. Or when you're driving down the highway, somebody is going to beep at you, and get you frustrated. So it doesn't matter what happens in your life, as long as you know that you've got yourself, that you are accountable to happiness. You're accountable to a happy life. If you choose it, then it's yours. And if you don't choose it, then unfortunately, you know, and there's no judgment here, because I've been there, you know, you will fall out with people, relationships won't work, you won't feel satisfied in your job, etc., etc., etc. And nobody wants that. No one.
Yes. And Starla, it turned to be a beautiful conversation around gratitude, and thank you for bringing in your story and your experiences which you had been through. And probably my last question, I promise.
Sure.
I've been asking you so many questions. Yeah.
That's
Can you
fine.
share about your favorite books?
Favorite books, anything by Joe Dispenza.
Okay.
The book I mentioned, Self-Compassion by
Yeah.
Kristen Neff. If anybody wants to DIY gratitude, then The Magic,
Yes.
who is, you know, Rhonda is a great writer. It's unfortunate that the documentary The Secret, which was the original, that it went as it did, and kind of taught people that they just needed to say what they wanted and it would just happen with, you know, no positive action. But The Magic is all about gratitude. Lots of gratitude practices in it, and ones that I still use every single day. If I ever feel like I'm at a loss, then I'll think, oh, let me think of a practice from that book. So yeah, it's a great book. And I love Abraham Hicks,
I love too.
Esther and Jerry.
Yes.
They are fantastic. They really are. But I would say, you know, whatever book you pick up, or whatever, you know, somebody whoever you look at to be this amazing person that really resonates with you, it needs to resonate, you
Yes.
know, no matter who it is. So if you listen to, you know, to Abraham Hicks, and you don't get the humor, and you don't feel that you can really get on board with it, find somebody else. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not good at this stuff, or that you don't understand it and you don't get it. It might just mean that you need someone who's simplified it a bit more for you, in, you know, in a different way, or something like that.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time and
Thank you.
sharing your story. It was very, very inspiring, and it was awesome conversation with you, Starla.
I've had a great time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes.
And if anybody wants to find me on all my social media, I am at She's a Guiding Star. And my website is www.she'saguidingstar.com. I have a podcast, I have a blog, I have an Instagram which is chock full of all sorts of mindset tips and tricks, because I love writing. I love helping people, just on a daily basis, really. So yeah, so if you want to find me over on my social media channels, then I'll look forward to seeing you there.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much, Starla.
Thank you so much.